Scorpios, chances are, as of you watching this video, you've been hitting your life with some form of major curveball. Maybe in regards to your community, maybe in regards to your love life or your passions. Somewhere in your life, it feels like life has gotten a little bit harder and you can't quite figure out why. But there is a reason, and that is because as of today, as of recording this video, we are in eclipse season. The eclipse portal has been opened, which brings in destined, fated changes and unexpected events. So in today's video, let's dive into how exactly you, Scorpio, are being affected this fall eclipse season and how you can align with these transits with ease. Hello, my Scorpios, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are talking about fall eclipses and how they're going to affect you in particular. Whether Scorpio is your sun, your moon, and or your rising, this video will apply to you. And we have a very challenging month-long plus period ahead that can bring up a lot of unexpected curveballs, major turning of events. It can leave many of us feeling very confused as to what our direction is in life. And if that is you, if you're feeling this way, that is because we are in this eclipse season. Or simply put, maybe you're not feeling that way. Maybe your life feels great, but you are curious what invitation is being presented to you astrologically for self-growth, or maybe even for heightened levels of personal fulfillment. And eclipses bring that up too. So in today's video specifically, I'm going to be covering the lunar eclipse in Pisces, the solar eclipse in Virgo, other planets that are going to be influencing these eclipses, and advice for you, Scorpios, to navigate this month plus long period ahead. So whether, again, Scorpio is your sun, your moon, or your rising, I will be sharing at the end of this video what I recommend Scorpios do to really align with these transits and utilize them to your benefit, or to navigate any changes or chaos that are coming your way. There is a core invitation here to reflect on and work on, and I will talk more about that at the beginning or at the end of this video. And again, this video will apply to you if Scorpio is your sun, your moon, and or your rising, but it's just for your Scorpio sun, moon, and or your rising. If you want to understand what exactly lies ahead for you starting now through to the first 2 weeks of October, then I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below where we can talk about how your unique birth chart is being affected by these eclipses and what you're being called to do based off of your unique desires and your unique life experience. So if you want to get your customized interpretation for these eclipses, for this eclipse season, I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below. Now, with that all out of the way, Scorpios, let's get into this eclipse season. Starting off with the first eclipse we will feel on September 7th at 15 degrees, we will have a lunar eclipse in Pisces. Scorpios, you can really expect two major themes coming up during this lunar eclipse in Pisces and as we get closer to the 7th, which is fated destined endings as well as fated destined fulfillments and reward, which oftentimes can sound like a bit of a contradiction that is very confusing. The reason for this is that a lunar eclipse is an extremified full moon. It is, so to say, full moon energy times 10. Full moons bring up two major themes because both of these revolve around the idea of the full moon being the moon is fully lit. We are seeing the full picture. And when we see the full picture, there's two things we want to do. We want to let go of what no longer serves and let in what we have awaited. So full moons are said to be a time to reap reward, reap harvest, and bring in our manifestations. But also they're a time where we can be expecting to release what no longer serves us. So with this lunar eclipse happening in Pisces on the 7th, and as we near closer and closer to the date, you can expect some form of fated, destined letting go and releasing, as well as letting in something you've long awaited in regards to your fifth house being your romance, your pleasure, your play, and your creative hobbies and creative passions, as well as your creative pursuits. So the reason I say that is because for you Scorpios, Pisces is your fifth house. What that means as a key takeaway is, again, as we near the 7th, you're expect to receive some sort of fulfillment and reward that you've been waiting on for 6 months regarding your passions, your pleasures, and your romance. So this could be about your dating life, Scorpio. What I recommend you do to understand what may be coming up for you is look back to end of February, beginning of March, specifically the 7-day period around February 27th. What were you initiating and intending regarding your romance, your pleasure, your play, your passions, the ways that you just have fun and enjoy life? Maybe you started dating someone. Maybe you were starting a new creative pursuit. Maybe, Scorpio, you were wanting to start a creative project or began a creative project, or maybe you were setting the intention to have more fun in life and take things more with a grain of salt. What was going on in regards to these kind of topics and themes in your life around February 27th? That is when we had the new moon in Pisces. And so now we can expect 6 months later with this lunar eclipse in Pisces to reap the rewards from what it is we have been working on since then and that we initiated since February 27th. So this lunar eclipse in Pisces, Scorpios, is bringing in fated changes regarding how you enjoy life in the end is really the major theme here. So you can expect some form of shift or receiving that changes how you move through life and how much enjoyment you get from life in a harmonious, blissful, easy way. I would guess that for many Scorpios out there, they're either completing a project and realizing that this is a passion of theirs that they want to keep pursuing. They're completing some form of creative pursuit. They're starting dating someone or having a new approach to dating that they're going to stick with for a while. Or maybe even simply put, they really have found how they want to spend their evenings, how they want to spend their free time when they have fun. This is about you realizing your joy, so to say, Scorpios. Not only is this simply just about your joy and bringing in long-awaited shifts here, but this is also maybe requiring you to step just a little bit more out of your comfort zone that you feel ready for. The reason I say that is because not only do we have this lunar eclipse, which is the sun and moon activated with this eclipse, but we also have the nodes of fate involved at 18 degrees. North node in Pisces and the south node in Virgo conjunct this new full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. You can expect that whatever changes are coming up for you, whatever it is that is you're receiving or ending, is challenging you to be just a little bit better, so to say, because the North Node challenges us to step into our higher self or one step better than we are now. Because wherever the North Node transits, which is in Pisces right now, that is where we are being called to step up to the plate, do some spiritual work to receive the level of fulfillment that we want. And so with the North Node in Pisces, with this lunar eclipse, you're experiencing some form of destined fated shift to your pleasure, play, romance, creativity, but you may also feel like you have to step up to the plate a bit. The way I described this for Sagittarius just a video ago is Scorpios, you may feel like you've been asking for, I want to have more fun. I want to meet this kind of person. I want to enjoy my creative hobbies this way. I want this much time for creative hobbies. I want my life to feel like this. And now the universe is sending you exactly what you asked for, but you may have to take a bit of a step of courage in that regards to receive that level of fulfillment. Maybe something that is coming up is requiring you to be a bit out of your comfort zone. What I could see in one example is you're being recognized for one of your creative passions or one of your just general passions, and you're being spotlighted for them, for example, and you have to overcome some fears in this regard. Or maybe that means that you finally have the opportunity to say no to more work and no to people, but it can feel scary to do so in order to make space for this level of passion, play, creativity, romance that you want to make. So that could be coming up for you as well with this eclipse. There is one other major planet that I want to talk about that is specifically involved with this lunar eclipse, and that is Jupiter in Cancer, in a fellow water sign. I will say that I think personally, Scorpios, you may be experiencing this eclipse season in the most beneficial, easy way, more so than any other signs. The reason I say that is because we have a trine between Pisces, the Pisces moon, and the North Node in Pisces, as well as Jupiter in Cancer. And those are both water signs, hence why it's a trine. And you are the final water sign in that piece. So if you have your sun, your moon, or your rising in Scorpio, you are experiencing what I would call a grand water trine to this lunar eclipse. So this feels like a massively positive, beneficial moon for you. And it is overall for all signs, but you especially, you may feel like this is easy, this is harmonious, it aligns you to what you naturally want to be. So for you, especially if you have your sun, moon, or rising of Scorpio around 15 to 18 degrees, if that's you, comment below because this is huge for you. Point being, with Jupiter and Cancer involved, in your 9th house, you have been expanding your personal beliefs and ideologies, and something about those beliefs that you've expanded are now aiding you in receiving the level of fulfillment and growth that you want in your pleasure, play, romance, and creativity. And this can feel like it aligns you to who you are. So your passions, your personal beliefs, who you are, they're all coming on the same page with this lunar eclipse. It's something so positive to align with, Scorpio, something that's going to really bring in some positive changes to your life. Additionally, not so much involved with the lunar eclipse in particular, but present throughout the entirety of eclipse season, we have Saturn retrograde re-entering Pisces, and that happens on the 1st of the month. Saturn retrograde back in the sign of Pisces at 29 degrees. First and foremost, Scorpios, I recommend that you look back to May of 2025 when Saturn was last in 29 degrees of Pisces. What forms of restriction or structure were you experiencing and initiating in regards to your pleasure, play, romance, and creativity? What kind of boundaries were you setting in dating? What kind of disciplines were you establishing with your creative pursuits to make time for them? Some form of structure that you established back in May of 2025 could be coming back into your life in September, for the sake of asking yourself if this still serves you. Saturn can also bring up themes of restriction, maybe regarding your pleasure, play, romance, and creativity. And so if that's something more that you're feeling, comment down below. Overall, Saturn retrograde in Pisces is coming back one last time during this eclipse season to help you remember to establish authority in your life for the sake of your own personal enjoyment, Scorpio. How can you be a compassionate authority in your life, in specifically your dating interactions and with your creative pursuits? Lunar eclipse in Pisces is just one half of the story, Scorpio sun, moon, and risings, and that happens on the 7th of September. Then, from then on, we start to near the energies of the solar eclipse happening in Virgo, and that will exactly take place on September 21st of 2025 at 29 degrees of Virgo. The solar eclipse in Virgo, again, if a lunar eclipse is a 10x full moon, a solar eclipse is a 10x new moon effect. And so this is where we can expect faded new opportunities, faded connections coming in, new beginnings of who we are and how we move through life. For you, Scorpios, this has to do with a storyline around your sense of purpose, as well as your community and friend groups. This will be something more I touch on once again in your advice segment, but Scorpios, what has been going on this year regarding your community, friend groups, and your sense of purpose? What do you fix your sense of purpose into? Something here is changing on the solar eclipse happening in Virgo on the 21st of the month. This new moon solar eclipse in Virgo is bringing in destined, fated new beginnings regarding your purpose, your community, and your friend groups, so that you can align with who you truly want to be in this area of your life. Maybe you've been too critical or too selfless in some way, and now you're receiving the new opportunity for a new beginning in this area of your life. And what's going to help you do that is whatever realization you're having around the lunar eclipse on the 7th. You're receiving something on the 7th that helps liberate you so that you can align with what you're meant to be and supposed to be and want to be in your community, your purpose, in your friend groups. This could also be about a more purpose-driven project. So if any Scorpios out there have more of a project that they've been working on, longer term vision for the impact they're trying to create on the world, this could also be highlighted as well. Actually, I want to take this quick note. It just occurred to me. I got a comment last month on my August horoscope of what about the Scorpios that are retired? And I think this is a great opportunity to bring this up, especially as I've been talking about purpose-driven projects. In the end, Scorpios, this has to do, this whole changes that you're experiencing this month is about how you find and define a good life, is the way I like to describe it. Because the 11th house and the 5th house give us the full picture on what a good life is. We need to have purpose and impact, and this idea that we're serving humanity and this greater vision for why we're here and greater reason for being here. But we also need good laughs, small moments, maybe a nice glass of wine, maybe a creative pursuit. Maybe we need to dance. Maybe we need to laugh with friends. We need to have that lighthearted just pleasure and enjoyment. Now, if we just have one or the other of those, we don't feel fulfilled. We become either this sense that we have no enjoyment and we have only purpose, or we have this, hedonistic, just pleasure-driven approach without a greater sense of why we're here. We need both. And that is what is being brought up for you, Scorpios, this month in particular. Starting now, August 23rd, which this video is going to be published after that, through to the second week of October. You're being called to define what makes a good life in the first place. And so this is about your sense of purpose, the things you do for purpose, the things you do to give a greater impact, but also the things you do just for pleasure, the things you do just for play, and the people you interact with just in a playful way. Hence why we often say the word romance and dating in regards to this topic. So with that all in mind, Scorpios, what is my advice to you for this month ahead? What do I recommend during this eclipse season? Overall, I would recommend Scorpios, above all else, ask themselves really the tangent I just went on, which is, what brings an enjoyable life for you? What does an enjoyable life mean for you? And to break that down even further, what do you currently do for a sense of purpose? What do you currently do to make an impact? What do you currently do to be selfless? What do you believe you must be, do, or have to be selfless and have importance and impact? Are you wanting to redefine that? Is it really serving you? Is it really what you think your purpose is? Or are you playing small? Secondarily, how can you bring yourself more personal enjoyment and fulfillment to truly be of more selfless service from a fulfilled place? How can you initiate something new that is creative, that you love, to create more space for that? I think that's all I feel called to share for you, Scorpios. Overall, this is a positive month for positive impact and change for you, where you can expect to redefine what your purpose means and the people you surround yourself with and how you give to them, as well as how you find personal enjoyment. So Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Risings, let me know down in the comments below, are you feeling the energies of this eclipse season? Have you experienced some form of major curveball? Is Scorpio your Sun, your Moon, and or your Rising? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you want to go deeper into how exactly this month plus period is going to play out for you based off of your unique chart and your unique life story, I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below, where in 1 hour we can dive deep into any and everything regarding the stars and how they impact you and how you can align to them to your benefit. The link is in the description box below. I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabel, and from my heart to yours, and namaste.